Hi everybody, Mark Michels here, joined now with the NCHA Unlimited Amateur World Champion Madison Smith, riding Stunja this week. Congratulations, Madison.
Thank you so much.
How did that feel? You kind of had things sewn up coming into the World Finals.
Yes.
At what point during the year did you realize that you were going to be the world champion?
Well, I think I was sitting first pretty much all year from the beginning. I went hard early in the year, and Harvey gave me a run for my money there toward the end. But I knew the last weekend at Graham that I'd won enough to be, even if I couldn't show at the World Finals, I had it won.
How did that how did that play into your mindset coming into, I guess, the World Finals, knowing that you've got it sewn up? Was it a little bit more less stressful, more enjoyable, or?
I think so. I definitely just wanted to just come and have fun and just have a good time.
Yeah. What are some of the things that stand out for you from this World Finals experience? Obviously, it's your first one. You hadn't hauled before, and now to come in and be a world champion, what are some things that stand out to you?
It was such a fun environment. I've obviously come and watched the World Finals before, but to be down there, it's really electric, and everyone's so supportive on the weekend level all year and at the World Finals. It was really fun.
Talk about the emotions. I watched you cut your last cow with a little over 30 seconds left, and this cow came at you. I mean, it was a great cow to put a big score up.
Yeah.
It really challenged you. What did it feel like? What were the emotions when the buzzer went off for that final time, knowing that was the end of the road?
Yeah, Cass, when we were walking down there, he just said, go have fun and let's end on a positive note. So that was really the plan. I was deep, obviously, and that was not a cow we had wanted to cut, but it was in a good spot. So that mare's great. On the harder the cows are, the better she is. So it was fun to finish out like that on her.
And let's talk a little bit about Stunja. That was kind of your main ride this year. You also showed Balenciaga some. Barney Mac, your husband, trained this horse, showed it for maturity, and then it kind of was a practice horse for a while?
Yeah, so he won the Cattleman's Honor as a 4-year-old, and then he broke his leg right before the Super Stakes, like the day before. So I stepped on and showed her. I always got her ready for him, but I'd never shown her before. And I think I was going to have one of the high scores going into the finals from the semis, but I didn't get a deep cut. So they reviewed it and took it. And I didn't show her again. We didn't really show the rest of that year, and took her home. And she was my practice horse her 5- and 6-year-old year. And at the end of last year, I was like, well, I think I want to haul this year and go to Abilene and for the winter circuit. And I didn't really have anything else to show, so I was like, well, I guess I'll take Paris. And then I think I've won 50-something thousand on her. I mean, I won most of my money on her this year. So she just she's so gritty and cowy and just turned into a perfect weekend horse.
So you started out, with that intention of hauling for the year. Did you think a world championship was a possibility? Or, obviously
No.
that's always the goal. But
Well, that wasn't, I just wanted to make the top 15. And I had a lot of success early. And Barney was like, well, when those world standings come out, you're going to be sitting first. And I was like, no, I won't. And he said, no, I'm pretty sure you are. And so when they did come out in February or whenever it was, I was first by a decent amount. And he said, well, you need to keep going. You can't stop now. You might as well just do it. And so then I was gone pretty much 4 days a week, every week for the rest of the year. So.
Well, and there's a lot that goes into it. It's one thing to say, I'm going to haul, and then to start out and have some success. And now all of a sudden the reality sets in, hey, I've got to set a schedule. Like, I've got to start planning. I've got to look at the chatter and pick out all these shows.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a little bit about what went into that. Like, how did you kind of pick where you wanted to go show?
Yeah, so we already had horses with Cass, age event horses, and he had a 3-year-old for us this year, has one that he's in the semis on. And so he was also hauling this year, and so I was like, well, that's a good year, or it's a good year to go with them because I'm comfortable with him. And so Stunja, she's kind of funny, and she's perfect for the weekend. The less she gets worked, the better she is. So she doesn't get ridden at home. I just would meet them at the shows with her, flag her at the shows, and go show her. She gets turned out every day other than that. So kind of the perfect weekend horse.
Well, it's totally the opposite of what we do for the Asia events. There's so much preparation, so much goes into those works leading up to each run. and here at the weekends, I'm just going to pull her out of the stall and show up at the show, and we're going to hit a flag a little bit. Yeah, we're good to go, and then bang. I mean, and it's just, it's really that maturity that sets those horses apart that have that weekend mentality that allow you to go do that and allow them, when you're not having to work them all the time, to stay sounder, stay fresher, and it's more fun for the horse as well.
Yeah, I have a total respect for these weekend horses because, I mean, they go through it. It's not good situations. The ground's normally not the best. The pins are tiny and tight and fast, and they just hang in there all year and are pretty incredible.
Yeah. So obviously Beach Fork Ranch, you guys, you're focused on the breeding side of things. You've got a lot of aged event horses, different trainers, representing the brand. And now here you go hauling for the weekend. How did that kind of mix things up? How did you balance doing both?
So I didn't show at too many aged events this year just because once I made that my goal, that was my goal.
Yeah.
So I did show at the Super Stakes, and Balenciaga, she went into the Hall of Fame at the Super Stakes. I made the finals on her there. She's 6 this year. So after she aged out, after she went over in the Hall of Fame, we took her to be also my weekend horse.
Yeah.
She didn't have anything else to prove. Lloyd had an incredible career on her, and I kind of needed another horse to help me out. And so she came and got to, much to her dismay, be a weekend horse. She didn't like it at first.
What's changed?
Yeah, she was a little shell-shocked, I think. But she really pulled through, and she's been awesome this in later half of the year as well.
Yeah. What I see a lot, obviously being around these guys and gals that haul a lot, and how much it helps them in the aged event show. When they come back and show in the aged events, it seems like they're more comfortable. Things come more naturally. You're not as overstressed about each individual move.
Yeah.
How does that kind of play into your game?
I would say it came into play most probably at the BI. I don't know if you were there during the torrential downpour rainstorm. I had made the non-pro wild card in the 4-year-old on a mare that Cody Hedlund has for us, and I was right before they had to break. It was raining so hard because there was like water coming in through the roof, and there was a tornado and all the BI things. But Cass said to me, they were like, okay, you might have to weaken this a little bit because the cows were horrible. And I went in there and I cut my first cow, was my third cow again. And they were like, that's your first cow. And I was like, I know, but I think it'll be okay. And I mean, it definitely felt like a weekend run, but I marked up, I think, 21 and made the finals. So it definitely helped me out there in a bad situation,
Well, and I do know, speaking of things that happen during a run and crazy things that happen at Outback, talk about that a little bit. We had a little situation there the last weekend of the year.
Yeah, that was a pretty stressful show just because there was so much added money, and it was the worst show I've ever had also. So that was a little stressful because the world standings could have definitely changed during that show. There was so much added money and so much at stake. The first day I go in to show and a windstorm blows in right when I'm walking in, and the fan hit the roof and it sounded like gunshots were going off, and it was I got a re-ride because the cows and turnback horses were exiting the arena. It was so loud. But obviously the cows were pretty stirred up and just smoked me immediately. But yeah, so that you never know what's going to happen.
Well, and I think that's part of it, showing so much. It helps you kind of deal with situations like that, I think, that come up, random stuff, and it's all part of showing on the weekends.
Yeah, we've all kind of joked that we're all just numb to whatever now. It doesn't really matter.
That's it. Well, let's talk about it's a long road to December, to this time of year, to that World Championship. Let's talk about some of the highs along the way. What are some things that stand out to you from the year that were really kind of that you'll remember for a long time?
Yeah, so probably my best show all year was in Ignacio in June. It was a 5-day show or 6-day show. I showed 5 days in a row in the UA. I marked 3 75s in a row, a 76 on the 4th day, and a 3 on the 5th day.
Nice.
So I think I won like 75 or 600 in 5 days. So that kind of really gave me a jump. And
And that unlimited amateur is not an easy class. I mean, that is so competitive.
It is. I mean, it's I guess just one step below the non-pro, but it's pretty tough. Everybody's very competitive.
Let's talk about some of the friendships maybe made along the way. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a whole different for the most part, a different group of people that do the weekend stuff that you don't really see at the aged events, and they're all awesome, very supportive, and everybody cheers for everyone, and I'm really thankful for all the people I've met this year and gotten close to.
Yeah. What about some of the low points? Obviously, again, it's a long year. There's some highs and lows. It's hard to stay on that top echelon the whole way through the year. What are maybe some low points, and how did you deal with coming back from that and drive, get that drive to keep going?
So it's kind of a funny story, and I think my husband can attest to this. Blue Ridge was rough for me. And I won one check one day, and it was not on one of the big added money days. It was, I think, just 1,000 added day. I got a last whole check, and I did not get a single check for the rest of Blue Ridge. I had a horrible show. I got run over like 3 times, and before that, going into this year early, I didn't get run over till August.
Really?
That was the first time, and so I was just like, oh my gosh, you know. And then coming home from Blue Ridge, a lot of people got sick at Blue Ridge with stomach flu. I got it also, and came down so sick the night I got home, ended up in the hospital.
Oh, no.
I'd passed out, broke my nose, maybe had a mild concussion. And so I showed up at Sulphur Springs a couple days later and was just still not feeling good and weak. And it was pretty close at that point, like the money wise, you know, and so I really had to rely on everybody to kind of take care of me, which I'm not very good at.
Right.
I like to get my own horse ready. I'm like, I can do it. I'm take care of everything. And so they were kind of bossing me around, telling me to take it easy and not do too much. But I had a great show at Sulphur Springs that last weekend. I won one day, second, and so that was really good. And then finished out the year at Graham.
Yeah, and that had to kind of give you a better feeling coming into the World Finals. Obviously, by then you had it sewn up.
Yeah.
But it just shows you, I mean, this thing is never over until it's actually over.
Right.
And coming down to those last few shows of the year, there's so many variables, and from stomach bugs, things that we can't plan for, that we can't, prepare for. And it's just things like that you have to overcome to get to that end of that road. Mm-hmm. So what would you tell people that are thinking about hauling in the Unlimited Amateur? Have you got any advice for somebody thinking about that right now?
Probably not specifically for the UA, but in general, it's the best thing I've ever done for myself. My just showmanship and not letting things get to me, like I used to get really upset if something if it didn't go right or whatever, but I don't think you really have much of a choice except to just roll with the punches and go with it. And I think it's the best thing you can do for yourself as far as you're showing.
Well, you're testing yourself constantly, and you're constantly working on ways to improve, not just your showing, but your mental game.
Right.
And I think that's a big part of it, and you have to be prepared to give it all to be able to do that and succeed with that.
Definitely, yeah. You may walk in there and none of your help is at that show, or they're in another pen helping or showing themselves, and you go down there and nobody says a word to you, and you just kind of have to feel it out and figure it out,
Yeah,
so
that's it. Yeah. Plans for next year? Is it too early?
It's a little early to talk about that. Stunja she's going to get a good long couple month rest. She went pretty hard this year. I think she showed over 100 times this year, so she deserves a long break. And I was supposed to show Balenciaga here. She got hurt a couple days ago, and so Stunja, she's just been turned out. She got called back in, but she was awesome the last 2 days, and it was good to finish the year on her. She got me here, so for the most part. So and then definitely I'll keep showing probably at the 7 and up deals on those girls, and I don't know, someday I'd probably like to make the top 15 in the non-pro, but
well, it's good to have goals, but you also need a break in between to kind of reset the mind and let the horsepower kind of regenerate a little bit. And then finally, what are the plans for Thanksgiving? You got anything fun planned, or are you going to be here at the show?
My whole family's here for probably the first time for this time of year.
Now, are you cooking, or are they cooking?
No, Barney's actually showing tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day, so we're going to go.
So he's going to be on his own in here tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to the Omni to eat a buffet. So
nice.
Just go enjoy it.
Yeah, well, that's great.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on an awesome year an
you.
awesome finals, and we look forward to seeing you down the road again sometime.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Madison.